Hello.
So that's when people are on. Nobody's on.
Oh. Hello, nobody. Does that mean it's... Oh,
There we go.
I see somebody.
Somebody sees us.
Hello.
Let's see if we can find our chat here.
Good morning, or maybe good afternoon.
Guess we need to do this more often,
Yeah,
huh?
we're just getting started here, so trying to get it all figured out. At least Carrie is.
Bear with us.
We don't see the chat yet, but we're trying to pull it up. Oh.
There we go. There we go.
Hello.
Howdy. All right, trying to pull the chat up on the laptop, so. Hi, Cindy. How are you? Cindy Durner.
Oh, hello.
Robin Jan, hi. Live.
Is that the chat?
No. Trying to pull the chat up on the laptop and I don't remember how to do it.
Hello there. I see we got a few people jumping on.
Missouri, hello.
Yeah, let us know where you're from as you come on, please.
And how hot is it there? We're just now coming into a hot spell where we are.
Yeah, we are currently in Illinois, working our way west.
I had to ask Dave which town we were in because I didn't know.
We're in Bradley, I think.
Okay.
South of Chicago.
I'm gonna have to Seabrook, New Hampshire, upstate New York on the border of Canada, Las Vegas. Oh, I bet Las Vegas is hot. Hi, Carrie. Germany, hello. Washington State, 110.
Where's that at?
Southeast Washington State, 110.
Whoa.
Dang.
Man, that's too hot for me.
Ontario, Southern Illinois, Iowa, Cascade Mountains near Seattle. 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're
I was gonna say
talking.
the Cascades have got to be really nice right now.
Yeah.
And maybe some good mushroom hunting. I can't read the screen, so it's so small.
And I can't figure out how to get the chat up on the computer, so.
We've done it before.
We have. Your channel. Calgary. If I click on this. Nope, don't want that. Okay, we're getting closer. There we go.
Oh, we got chat.
Boy,
Awesome.
that was hard.
You can't enlarge that, can you?
Good question. Hi, George, Tennessee.
George and Sana?
George and Sana, yeah.
Hello.
I don't think I can make that bigger.
That's all right. At least you got it.
Michigan, Northwoods. Did we say 30 years? Have we been married 30 years?
30 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. New York. Hi, Lorraine. The van stops here.
We had a great time in New York, going through New York.
Connecticut.
Glen Watkins.
Watkins Glen.
Or Watkins Glen, yeah.
So we were just going to breeze. Well, I guess you guys know we're back in the States. We've been here for about, what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah, maybe a month.
Yeah, so everybody's waiting to see our Nova Scotia videos.
Yeah.
We did not do any Nova Scotia videos.
Yeah, we started looking around at all the places that we wanted to stay, and over the last year, a lot of the comments on the free camping sites have said they put up brand new signs and said there's no more free camping. And
Yeah.
they've been giving people fines and kicking them out, so.
A lot of the iOverlander spots said closed, 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 closed.
So we can set that for another time. And also, it was super expensive for fuel and food while we were up in Canada, so we were kind of pushing to get back to the States.
Yes, absolutely. Now, we spent a glorious 3 months in Newfoundland,
Yeah.
and we knew it was going to be expensive, but it was a little bit more expensive than we thought, which is okay.
Yeah.
We did some excursions, which we normally don't do. It was a trip of a lifetime, and that is why we worked the 2 beet harvests last year, so that we
Yeah.
could do that. But after 3 months, we had to come back because, well, we had some van maintenance we had to do.
Yep.
What else?
Well, we got to get ready to work here.
We're doing, okay, hear it out, let it out of the bag. We know we said we wouldn't do this again.
Yeah, but we signed up for the beet harvest again, but we're thinking this is a short beet harvest and it's in Minnesota. And then we found out that there is a potato harvest that's even earlier than the beet harvest.
Yeah, thanks Norm for sharing that with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, if you're on, thank you.
So we signed up yesterday to work the potato harvest, which starts the first week of September, and we're waiting to hear back from that.
Yeah, we're kind of excited about that if we get that. So they don't usually hire from outside, but this year they needed more help, so they posted in their
It's the first year.
first year.
They're doing work campers.
So
yeah.
they're doing work campers. So we signed up. We think we've got it, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. And we're going to be doing quality assurance kind of work. So it's going to be indoors. We're both going to be allowed to work at the same time.
And it's only 8 hours a day, which is better for Rudel.
Yeah, we'll be able to go out for breaks and lunches and check on Rudel. The average temperature this time of year for them is supposed to be like 78 degrees, so it shouldn't be too hot.
Oh, 69 degrees.
69?
Yeah.
Oh, even better.
So that's even better. Hi, Amy. Hi, Joe.
Oh, hey guys.
Yep, so if it works out, we will be working all of September, and then we will transfer into Minnesota to do the sugar beet harvest again.
Yep.
So if you guys, so there's some videos coming up where we kind of explain why we do the seasonal jobs. And when you guys watch a video and you watch so many seconds of the ad, we get paid a very small amount, like a penny or two. So, but it adds up. So all of our viewers, we're up to 30,500 subscribers now. When you guys watch and you watch a small section of those ads, then we get paid. But it's not a great deal of money. Like, it doesn't cover our monthly costs.
No.
So YouTube basically covers our gas costs for the month.
Which is nice. I mean, we're not
Absolutely
we're
nice.
not complaining.
Yeah.
So
And then our patrons who subscribe to us, they pretty much help us with all of our other expenses monthly.
Yeah.
So we do these side jobs to fund next year's adventure.
And car repairs.
And car repairs. Why don't you tell them a little bit? They haven't seen the car repair video yet.
Okay, so we have been putting off a bunch of things, and some of those were the front struts, because you have to take a little bit of the dash apart. It's labor intensive.
It's expensive.
It's expensive, so we've been putting it off, and we didn't have any front struts at all. I mean, nothing was working there, and it was just a rough ride beating us up. So we finally had enough money to get that job done, and we had them replace the lower ball joints as well. And then somebody hit a rock when they were driving and put a big dent in the transmission pan.
Yeah, you'll see that video coming up very soon.
It was my fault just as much as Carrie's. So I didn't get out and walk it. I should have walked the creek, but anyway.
So I got lazy because we were going to Moosehead Lake, and it had been raining, and there were lots of puddles, and they were all great and no problem, and they're all rocky. We came to this one puddle that looked just like all the others, a little bit bigger, and I got lazy, didn't get out and walk it.
Well, it was super deep. So when Carrie started going through it, she panicked a little bit and hit the gas. So we were going faster than we should have, and we hit a rock that we couldn't see.
But if I wouldn't have, we would have been stuck in that puddle.
Maybe, I don't know.
Tell them how deep it was.
It was deep, but the bottom was rock. So it was big rock.
Dave was very nervous. The whole looked like it was smoking, but it was steam because
Yeah, the water was clear up to the radiator, so it was. But anyway, so we got the dent fixed, and we got a new pan put in, and the new pan that they put in actually has a drain plug for the transmission fluid, which the stock pan doesn't have. So that was a good thing.
And that was regular maintenance that we were planning on doing anyway.
Yeah, and we got 2 new tires for the front, and then we rotated the ones that were on the front to the rear. We got an alignment done, I'm trying to think of what else. Do we have anything else done?
It's like we just kept adding things on.
Yeah, we did keep adding things on, but that was the bulk of it. So, and now it rides like it's brand new. I mean, we forgot how comfortable it can ride because we just haven't had shocks or struts for such a long time.
Ones that worked, yeah.
Ones that worked, yeah.
Dave's like, this is a brand new car.
I mean, it even steers differently. So it's just, wow. But next time, hopefully, we don't have to wait.
Hi from Spain. Nice to see you.
So those are the kind of reasons that we're doing like the beet harvest or the potato harvest, and it's just nice to have the extra money to do the repairs and not to have to put them off, and then to we're hoping.
Wait, all of that, you guys, we hate talking to you about money because we're not asking you for more money. We just want to be transparent and tell you, you know, what's happening. And so that's why we talk about it a little bit. We're doing fine. You know, people ask about our Amazon. We do get a couple $100s a month from Amazon. If you don't know, we're Amazon affiliates. If you go through our link to Amazon, we get a small commission.
Yeah, if you click on it, it goes right to your Amazon page, and then you order like normal, but we get a small percentage, and it adds up.
And you don't have to order things off of our storefront. You can shop on Amazon just like you normally would. As long as you take our link there, they know that we sent you, and we get a small commission.
Yeah.
So that is my camera fund there. So that's a couple $100s a month from Amazon.
Yeah, and we go through cameras just because we wear them out. So we're always having to buy, it seems like every year we have to buy, or every 2 years we have to buy a new
Thank you, Jackie.
camera.
Well, we're getting off topic. But
Yeah.
So we have 2 GoPros. We have a GoPro 7 and a GoPro 10. And we have a love-hate relationship with the GoPros. They work really good when they're working,
Yeah.
but they glitch all the time, and they hate Dave.
Yeah. They just stop working when I hold them.
They do. They stop working. They freeze. But so we need to get our GoPro 7 has finally just freaked out. Like,
Yeah,
it won't work
it's
at all.
gone.
We have to have the 2 cameras. So we're looking at getting a second camera.
So we're thinking about trying something new. Maybe get the Osmo,
The DJI Osmo.
because I like the DJI products with the drones. If the Osmo is anything like those kind of products, I think we're going to be really happy with it. But so that might be our next camera purchase.
Yeah, so we need that real soon. So just things like that. Let me show you while we're doing a live. I don't think I've ever showed this before. So the cameras that we use my big girl camera for photographs.
That's the Canon.
That's the Canon. And Dave flies the drone. And then we usually use 2 GoPros and my iPhone. So between all of those, I usually have, these are SD cards. And this is only about half the amount. So I have about 17 SD cards, and what's really frustrating is when I go to edit my video and one of these cards is now corrupt.
Yep, they go bad.
They go bad. So we have to buy these every so often. And all of these are very old, so it's probably time to buy some of those too.
Yeah, we always got to buy something. So.
It takes hours when that happens.
So these seasonal jobs really help with that little stuff that we normally don't have money for either. So, and I'm looking forward to, if we get the potato job, that'll be working September, and October's my favorite month of the year. So maybe that'll free us up more in October, because that's when it starts cooling down a little bit, and all the camp spots that we like, the out of the way remote spots, are just wide open. You get to pick which locations you want. So I love that time of year, and it's coming. So if we can find work in September instead of October, all the better.
Well, we're hoping to do both.
Yeah.
But Minnesota is, because we've been working the sugar beet harvest in Montana, and that usually runs 3 to 4, maybe 5 weeks. And Minnesota typically runs 2 weeks.
Yeah, so less work in October at least.
Yeah. So why are we also working 2 jobs? What are we hoping to fund next year?
Alaska.
Alaska. We'll see. We've been saying every year.
And I want to do a little twist on Alaska if we can, and if we have time and money, is I want to spend some time up in northwestern Canada, maybe the Yukon or Northwest Territory, kind of hit some areas up that a lot of people don't see or don't get to go to. And just because I want to see it myself and kind of show it off.
Yeah, and when we go to Alaska, we're going to go as early as we can and stay as late as we can. So it's going to be like a 5-month trip.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one.
It's going to be a long trip. Unless, something happens. You never know when you get up there. So Joe and Amy had to buy new tires too. So talk about the tires a little bit, because everybody always asks us what tires you like.
Yeah, and check out some of the comments. We're getting lots of them, and I can't read any of them.
Talk about the tires.
Our favorite tires for the van, we've been through quite a few different ones already, are the Falcon Wild Peak AT3s. So we find that they get a lot of miles. They do great in off-road conditions that we like to drive, like loose dirt or snow. They do great in snow. And they're nice and quiet, and they just have a good grip on wet surfaces. We like them all the way around. We've had all the other tires we've had, no other tires have done as good a job. So that's what we went back to. And we only buy 2 at a time because they are expensive, but all tires are expensive these days, and they're not the top end tires. So, but we just buy 2, we put them on the front. We're front wheel drive, so we have the best tires.
Always on the front.
And we don't wear the back ones down to where they're bald. We wait till they hit the marker where they need replaced, and then we replace them.
We went a little bit longer on our tires this year because we wanted to wait until we got back from Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Newfoundland, not to put all that wear on the new tires. And wouldn't you know it, the day before we went to the shop, we got a flat heading down there.
Yeah.
Which was kind of strange because we have tire sensors, right? But the tire sensors haven't worked for years.
Yeah, and all of a sudden one started working, and sure enough, a rock went right through the tire. We made it to the day before we got the tire replaced. So that was...
Wait, Dave's like, the tire sensor's going off. He's all, that's never worked. He's like, and he pulls over real quick.
We pulled over immediately.
There's a live stream link somewhere that's dead. Sorry about that.
Oh, bummer.
So the live stream, the live stream thing is kind of confusing because I set it up on the phone, and I set it up when we were in Eastern time zone. Then we traveled to Central time zone, and then I was like, how's it gonna know? And will it automatically turn the phone on?
Did it?
It didn't.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know.
What, the dead link is somebody not seeing us, or they're not hearing us, or?
So like I set up a reminder, and they're probably waiting for us to come on. So I apologize for that.
Okay. All right.
But they found us.
They found us.
So thanks for finding us.
But yeah, Alaska, it's going to be awesome, and we're going to make it as exciting as possible. We're going to see as much as we can. And I don't really know much about the Yukon or the Northwest Territory. I just know it's on the side of the continent that I really want to explore that we haven't seen.
True North. I cannot. Are you considered going to Toyatuck? I don't think I said that right. That is
it's in the Northwest Territory, right?
That's all the way at the Arctic, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm not sure how much time we'll have, but
I think if we're going to go all that way,
we might as well do it.
We might as well do it.
Yeah.
But that's the gravel road you weren't too sure you wanted to take.
Oh, well.
And then I watched Amanda from
Are you talking
Alpine.
about the Dempster?
Isn't that the Dempster and it goes all the way up there?
No, the Dempster is in Alaska. We're talking Northwest Territory.
Okay, well, I don't know what I'm talking about then. Okay, True North,
I
don't know where Toyatuck
It's probably
is.
gravel road too. I don't know.
Thanks for the excellent regular ProMaster Living content. Thank you for the last 4 years.
Yeah, we're liking our ProMaster. You just got to keep up on the maintenance. It's been running good overall. Not a lot of complaints. I do need to replace all the door slides in the slider door though.
Oh, that's the next thing, is the reason why we're working 2 jobs. Is sometimes our slider door opens and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, so the one hinge that's on the bar that slides in the middle, so the little bearings, the little wheels that help it roll are completely worn down to a nub, so the door actually kind of doesn't hold in place properly, and so I think that's what's causing the problem. It's an easy fix. It's just you got to get that part, and the part's expensive, but it's. We
ordered the part in Canada when we were in near St. John's, and they said it would take a week to come, and was like, that's fine, we're hanging out. It took 2 weeks, and when we went to pick it up, it was the wrong part, It was the part on the bottom.
It's the bottom, and
which we also need.
well, I need that one too, so we kept the part, but just ordering stuff, sometimes can be hard because you have to stay in the same place until it comes in and stuff gets back ordered, so it's just hard for us to figure out a mailing point.
Yeah, so at some point the side door is going to not open at all. We're getting kind of close to that.
Yeah.
So we have to replace that. This fan is on its last leg.
Yeah, our fantastic fan is got one of the arms is broken, and I've tried to repair it a few times, but it's done. So it's still working, but it's a matter of time before it just falls apart.
And the front running lights on the front of the ProMasters, those are all cracked. We need to replace those.
Yeah, I think one of those is leaking. I think hopefully that's an easy job. I looked at it one time. You can buy a kit on Amazon, and hopefully that's all we need, because we really just need the new gaskets and the new light, the plastic, because it's all cracked.
Bye, Joe. Bye, Amy. Thanks for jumping
bye, guys.
on. What else? We need to do a coolant flush.
Yes, we need new spark plugs and boots. That's overdue by a little bit. The van seems to be running fine, so we're not pushing to get that done right away, but that's going to be probably all day at the shop kind of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, this is just 5 years of wear and tear on the van. We need to do a little bit of paint job inside, maybe change a couple of things. We're hoping to get rid of our Nature's Head composting toilet, because after 5 years, I love it and I hate it.
Yeah, they just wear out, and so I think we're just going to build our own this time.
It's super, super, super hard to clean. No matter what cleaner I use on it, it always looks dirty. The plastic has, I think, absorbed some of the smell. And if you know anything about composting toilets, you have to keep the liquids and the solids separate. And this one doesn't do that so well anymore. So it's going out.
I agree. Make our own.
So it's just 5 years of living in the van, just normal stuff that needs to be upkept. We haven't had to do much in the last 4 years, so we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So we're not complaining, just what's going on. Ryan Tooney just did the Alaska trip. Good series.
Oh, awesome.
What's the YouTube channel name? I'd love to watch that. Yeah, I watched Amanda take the Dempster. Rob and Jan, you've been in the ProMaster for 2 years now. Wow.
And of course, when we do Alaska, we want to hit some different places that we haven't seen in anybody else's videos. So, because I know a lot of people have done. We're going to have our own style, though.
Thank you, Susan. She said the Newfoundland photography was amazing. Pretty easy to photograph Newfoundland.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Boofenroodle.
Oh, Norm's on. Thank you, Norm. We did apply for that potato harvest. We'll see.
Yep, Norm. We could be working there. Thank you. Yeah, just opened up on, what's the site?
Work Campers.
Work Campers, like 2 days ago.
That's where it was announced.
Yeah.
And when I talk about Amanda, it's Amanda from Alpine, Tideline to Alpine, I think is her YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
So, anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
Oh, when they came back from Canada, did they search your van? No, they didn't, but they did search our van going into Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you want to tell about what we carry in the van.
Well, they were searching for a weapon that we had already stored.
The cat's out of the bag. We carry a firearm, in which we had it properly stored at a police station in Maine. It was not in the van. And she saw that paperwork, and she thought for sure
We had another one.
we had another firearm in the van, which why would we store one and not the other?
Yeah, she said she didn't like YouTubers and she didn't want to be on YouTube. And,
Oh, she asked us how we made our money.
Yeah,
And we said, we have a YouTube channel, and she goes, I hate YouTubers. You're not filming now, are you? And we're like, no, ma'am.
So just the wrong person, wrong place.
So she told us, I need you to go into Bay 9. And Dave says, I'm sorry, I don't think we can fit into Bay 9. She's like, oh, yeah, you need to go to the end.
Yeah, it wasn't tall enough. I could see that it was obvious that we wouldn't fit.
So the 2 additional agents that came over to search our van were very nice. Searched half-heartedly, I guess. I mean, we weren't hiding anything, and we were fine.
Yeah.
It took about an extra 20 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah.
And coming back into the United States, easy breezy.
Yeah, super easy.
Asked what we had in the.
The guy did ask, I think, where we live or something, and I think I hesitated and forgot for a second.
He forgot where he lived.
Because we don't go, where our domicile is in South Dakota, and we've been there once, so I got to think about, oh yeah, we live in South Dakota, so.
They did confiscate a lemon coming back in.
We took a lemon, yeah.
Took a lemon, that's it. Seeking Joy Now. This is not our first live. We don't do very many of them. We should do more of them.
Yeah, we always talk about doing more, but...
Do you guys want more lives or not?
We can, it's a way to update you in real time. If you're a patron, you already know where we're at and what we're doing, but just for the general subscribers, we could do more lives to keep everybody up to date. It's easier for us. It gives Carrie a little bit of a break from editing, which she needs. She's been constantly editing, and we've been driving a lot, and we have
the turtle bookworm. Hi Ashley, I thought of you yesterday. I was in a store and they had a purse in the shape of a book, and I almost took a picture and sent it to you. It was so you. Dog's Life going to be 115 here today, 111 yesterday. Where is that? Is that like Redding, California, where we came from?
No. Yeah, so this summer has been great for us because most of it felt like winter or spring, and now we're finally back getting some heat, but it's only like 84, 85. At the rate we're going, we're going to miss out on all the worst of the summer heat this year.
This person says the Canadian Border Patrol asked if I owned my ProMaster.
Does it matter?
I don't know.
What if I make a payments on it?
Well, I think that particular border crossing guard was not well liked amongst her peers either, because she was pretty bossy to them, and I could see the body language.
There was a little pushback. Yeah.
There was a little pushback, so I think we just gotta.
Somebody that was really motivated.
I guess.
Yeah.
Good morning, semi-retired Bob.
Hey, Bob.
I look forward to seeing you in the Southeast again someday. Yes, someday. Absolutely. It's going to probably be a couple of years because we are really missing the West Coast. We're missing our family. We haven't seen them for almost 2 years now.
And it seems like we go east every year, so we might have a year or two where we don't go east. I don't know. Who knows?
So Robert and Renee.
Hey. Hi, Robert.
I don't know if they're on yet. I don't know if they're on. But if they are on, we're heading for Campsite 1.
Yes, we are. So, hopefully, unless it's closed.
Yes, is Campsite 1 still open? I haven't seen him come on yet.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't know, Robert and Renee is Dave's brother and sister-in-law. They live in Redding, California, and they made us a little campsite.
In their backyard.
They put a little pole, and they put a number 1 on it, and it's like, they put like a little National Forest sign on it, and it's Campsite 1.
That's our spot.
That's our spot, so we're coming, eventually.
Yeah.
You can, far as I know, you cannot bring weapons into Canada. Well, you can,
you have to have
but
a special permit and hunting license, and there's a lot of rules and regulations. Don't try to smuggle one over, because they will not only take your weapon,
they will arrest you.
You will not get it back, and they will arrest you. So it's just not a good idea to try to sneak anything over there.
Rob and Jan had bad border going to and from U.S.
Oh.
So I guess they do it going either way, I guess. Yeah. Going to hit 100 in Illinois on Wednesday. Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah, we're jet setting pretty quick as we can to northeastern Minnesota. So I'm hoping to miss that heat wave.
Yes.
We've missed all of them so far. I mean, this one might catch us. I don't know.
Southern California, hurricane is coming.
Yeah, Hillary. I saw that.
We are in a safe area. We were in New York at Watkins Glen in that area, and we had severe weather alerts every day for a week.
Every other day we had a
But-
thunderstorm and it rained and cooled it off. I thought it was great, but
Yeah. Rudel is 7.
Rudo is 70 and he's taking a nap right now.
He is taking a nap. He's being good.
He does nap more than he used to.
Well, he didn't nap at all before.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's 7.
Oh, you heard us talk about you. Yeah. You woke up.
Our weapon is bear spray. We have bear spray too. Michael's going to the Notches Trace for 10 days. October, that will be amazing.
Oh, in the fall, yeah.
October is our favorite
Oh, yeah.
travel month.
Yeah, I get excited when fall comes around. The leaves start changing colors, the cool nights, cooler days, less people.
Escaping the Boy. Duluth Oktoberfest is September 15th through 17th. Okay, if the potato harvest does not work out,
Yeah.
we love Duluth.
Yep.
So,
I used to live in Duluth when I was about 5 years old. So, and then we've been back once or twice already.
yeah, so if you missed the beginning, we are somewhere an hour south of Chicago.
Yeah, we're in Bradley, Illinois.
I had to ask Dave where we were because I didn't know.
But
We are skirting around Chicago.
Yep.
We're going to head up through
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. And then we don't know. We've kind of been iffy, up in the air. We want to go here. Do we want to go there?
So if we get jobs at the potato harvest that we put in for, we're probably going to be heading
Straight there.
because we can start working really quick. Like we can get set into the campground and
Yeah.
get
If not, then we're going to probably go up and hopefully see maybe Pictured Rocks in Michigan or the Apostle Islands.
could be yeah.
So we're kind of up in the air what's going to happen. Rob wants to know how many miles before we had to change our struts. Well, that's a tricky question.
Okay, so
because Carrie said they needed to be changed like 2 years ago.
So we pretty much needed to change out the
But
front struts at about 50,000 miles.
We just didn't have the money to do
And
it.
we didn't have the money to do it because it's fairly expensive. It's just labor intensive. They charge you a lot of money for the labor. Now I figure I can do it myself as long as my back is strong enough. Because it's not. It does, now that I've seen it done a few times, it doesn't look as hard as I thought. And you can buy the struts already loaded with the springs on them, so that I think that makes the difference. So it's not dangerous, like if you had to put the new spring on them. But we needed new struts from 50,000 miles all the way to 120,000 miles, but didn't do it. So pretty much just every time we hit a
Well,
bump,
you put
there was no cushion.
you put the Sumo springs in the front, which
The
really helped.
The Sumo springs did help in the front, but after a while, it was just a rough ride. I mean, the front end wasn't doing anything. It was just sitting down and not moving.
Well, it got to the point where we saw a pothole coming. I was like,
It started
brace,
cringing.
brace. Yeah.
Railroad tracks. So I just about have to stop and crawl over. Yeah. So, we'll keep. This time I think we'll recognize when we need new struts a lot sooner than last time.
Yeah.
And hopefully have the money just to get it done, or I can do it myself.
Gray and Grumpy, when they crossed into Canada, the guard asked them 3 times if they had a concealed weapon. It's because they have a concealed carry permit. So they ran your background and they saw that.
So yeah.
I always wondered how much they show from country to country, and they do a background check.
Yeah. They probably share all that information.
Funny Stuff 4000. I'm not sure. Dave and I don't have any children. If we did have children, we would be going to see them quite regularly. But we just have a 4-legged fur child that travels with us. So the beet harvest, if anybody out there still wants to work the beet harvest, they are still hiring. Our friends, the Adventure Closet, you've seen them on the channel before, they get a hotel for the whole time because they're in a minivan. So if you talk to them when you call, they do put quite a few people up in a motel.
Yeah, if you're looking for work, it sure doesn't hurt to make the phone call and find out, because it's one of those jobs where they just don't fill all the locations. Even sometimes a day or two, even after the season starts, they're still hiring. So,
Yeah.
Um,
When we worked Michigan last year, quite a few people were in a motel.
yeah, they can be pretty flexible
Yeah.
if they need the help.
If you do decide to do the bee harvest and this is your first year, please tell them that we referred you, because that's a little extra money in our pocket.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I don't think we've ever regretted doing the beet harvest, have we? I mean, some years
We've had some
years
drama.
are better. Some years are better than others, but when we're all done with it, I think we've always been glad that we did it.
Here's a tip. When you go into the beet harvest, the first week is kind of chaotic because everybody's getting things set, and just avoid the drama and just say yes sir, yes ma'am, and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But like Minnesota's only 2 weeks, so I'm pretty sure they got it together.
They got it together. The machines are modern, up to date, so well, most of them.
Yeah. Thank you, Ashley and Jay. If we went to Oklahoma, he would help us.
Oh, cool.
Did you upgrade the struts, Dave?
We didn't really upgrade. I don't think we went with Monroe, which is a pretty common, well-known strut, so it's nothing fancy. It's probably mid or bottom range, but I would consider upgrading. I just really couldn't settle on which one I wanted to get without talking to somebody else that's had them and see how they like them. But I went online, looked at some reviews. It's really hard to tell. A lot of them are paid reviews, so.
And we had a lot of things to get done, so we didn't have any extra.
Yeah. So if you have a ProMaster and you've tried a more aggressive like off-road, because we do a lot of off-road driving, and you really like one, please let us know, because we'll add that maybe to the list for next time.
Yeah.
Because they don't seem to last that long.
Work, that's a dirty word. Work is a dirty word, but let me tell you, we were sure appreciative of having that money to go play in Newfoundland.
Yeah, plus after working like a month at the beet harvest or whatever our seasonal job is, when it's all done, I am so happy to go back to our job.
Yeah.
As YouTubers, because I love what we're doing for YouTube, and it just makes me appreciate it more.
And it's really nice because I don't know how much you guys, how long have all of you guys been here? Have you been following us from the beginning? When we started van life, we sold our house and we left with, I think it was $12,000.
Yep.
$12,000 to our name in our bank account, and that was it. We had no income coming in. So the first year we lived extremely poor. There was no eating out at all. There was no snacks at the gas stations. There was no paying for camping.
Yeah.
Because any money that came out of that fund meant the least amount of travel we could do. So, and then our YouTube channel that entire first year netted us $600. So we were extremely
About the
frugal.
time we just about completely ran out of money, we did a van tour back when van tours were big and exciting, and a couple of them did really well, and that's pretty much what got us through.
That got us monetized like instantly, and then we heard about the beet harvest, and the beet harvest really pulled us through that second year. And then Patreon started growing, and like, thank you, Ellen. Patreon, honestly, we adore our subscribers and our patrons. But if you ever hear us talk about Patreon, it's because YouTube money is so flexible. It goes up and it goes down.
Very well.
It seems like with the new shorts program that they have done, they are allocating more money towards that. So our money is not really going up, even though we're getting more views. We're staying about the same. Now, January, February, March, our income from YouTube plummets because advertisers are done advertising for the year.
Yeah.
They haven't ramped up. So our patrons really are a steady income stream that hold us through.
The only thing making it work. Otherwise, we'd be working half the year and then driving around.
Otherwise, we would
year.
not have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And so it's getting to the point now where the beet harvest allows us, our seasonal jobs allows us to do the fun stuff to do the maintenance that we need to do.
Yeah.
And to plan these excursions. Because you guys watched the ferry video. The ferries just to and off the island were really expensive.
Super expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys so much. So work is a dirty word, but it's a necessary word, and it's a short word for us.
Yeah. A 30-day job is pretty easy to take when you know that you're going to be done with it.
And if you missed it, we have left Newfoundland. We are in Illinois. We are heading to Minnesota to do our seasonal beet job and maybe do a potato job.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Robert. Robert.
Yeah,
We were just talking about
site number 1.
Campsite number 1.
So we're hoping to make our way there, although
We're hoping it was still open.
We're hoping it's still open, but
It's going to be a while.
It might be as late as what? January, February, I don't know.
We don't know. So after we do our seasonal jobs, I am obligated to a wedding in Dallas, Texas. Thanks, Robert. So my girlfriend hired me to photograph her sister's wedding, which was the first wedding I ever did. And then I got hired to do the second sister's wedding in Washington when we were on the road. And so my friend is getting married, so that would be the third sister
in that family.
And
you've done other weddings too.
I've done other weddings, but it's just a special one. She's my friend. She'll be the third sister. And so I kind of like weddings, especially when it's somebody I know and the bride is nice. So I'm excited to do it. It's in Dallas, and that'll be at the end of October. Amazon has cut back on its RV worker programs. Amazon has always been in our back pocket. If you see us working at Amazon in the actual warehouse, or you see us working at Walmart, we're hurting for money.
That's when you know.
That's when you know we might need a little extra money.
I'm at the door saying, "Welcome to Walmart." We're struggling.
Yeah.
I didn't read what Robert said.
He said, yes, it's open always.
Okay. That's good to hear.
Why
miss you.
Why did you pick potatoes this year? Well, it kind of just fell in our lap. A patron of ours told us about it, and it's in Minnesota, kind of on the route that we're going. It pays more than the beet harvest. It's indoors. It's 8 hours, and
it's just something new.
It's something new. We love something new and exciting.
And you know, if we like and it works out, it's in the month of September, and we'd rather work in September than October. So eventually, we could be possibly switching to potatoes depending on what happens. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. And you know, the beet harvest is work, and we get there and we say we're not going to do this again because it's work. But in all honesty, we make a good chunk of money in a really short period of time, and it's one job that we can do with Rudel because it's so short.
Yeah, and the van's getting older, so the repair costs per year are definitely going up.
Yes.
Is anybody
so please tell us about your decision to sell your home. We haven't talked about that for a long time.
Yeah, we can tell you.
You guys want to hear about that?
You guys want to hear the story about how we got started and why and all that, or most of you heard that already?
Hi, Maria. Can you guys do a thumbs up if you want to hear why we went into van life? I wonder if we can see thumbs up. 60. Yes, yes. Okay. So the thing about the beet harvest is it's weather dependent. So our friends who worked Minnesota last year, they worked 13 days straight and they were done. So you only get a day off if the weather allows. That is the one downside. Okay, they want to hear about why we started van life.
Okay.
Start back when we took our Jeep.
Maybe we'll condense it just a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So this is about 10 years ago. We took a trip with our Jeep. We had a Jeep Wrangler, and we liked to off-road. That was one of our hobbies. So we went to Moab, Utah, and did a lot of the trails and drove all around everywhere. and we noticed that people were camping in vans and trucks and whatever,
trailers
and whatever on public lands, and you could just tell that they, some of them were younger, and you could tell that, they were living there, and then so
they
I was
it
like,
was there was I went, not like they weren't living, but they were spending a lot
of time.
It wasn't just
yeah.
a one night camp.
Yeah, because every
Yeah.
time we drove by, it was the same people there. So
And
this caught my attention. Like, are these guys just living out? Are these guys just going into town and working when they need the money, and then, how are they making this work? So that's what first caught my attention.
Dave says, I want to do that.
I
And
was like, I
said,
want to do that.
I said, absolutely not. We're not doing that. We're not living full time, because I grew up off grid in the 80s when it wasn't cool. There's a video somewhere in our playlist of when I took you back to show the homestead. But I was like, no, we're not doing that. I want my flush toilet. I want my lights to come on. I grew up without electricity. I didn't have a phone. So I was like, nope, not doing that. And so we went back home. We continued our life as normal. And about 2 years later, I was working in a medical office for an ophthalmologist. And my job was to check people out after they saw the doctor. I'll never forget this couple that came in. They were in their 80s. She was a tiny little thing. He was a big, burly guy. And he said, we saved our entire lives for our golden years. And he said, we're too damn sick to enjoy it. And in the waiting room of this office, in front of all of the other people waiting, this guy started sobbing uncontrollably because they both needed surgery. His wife was wheelchair bound. He was taking care of her, and just the weight of the world was on his shoulders. And I felt so bad for him. And so I got, my job done. I got all his paperwork together, and he pushed her out, and he forgot stuff. So I had to run outside after him. And when I got to the parking lot, he saw me again, and he started sobbing uncontrollably. And that just really hit me. And I went home to Dave that night, and I said, okay, let's do it. Let's sell the house. And he's like, really? I was like, yeah, but you have to sell the Jeep. And he's like,
Took me a month.
let me think about it.
It took me a month. But still, my job, I worked at a fiberglass manufacturing company.
Terrible job.
It was not my favorite job, and it was pretty much killing me. And I did it for 13 years.
Well, and before that, we thought we wanted a house. We bought a house at the height of the housing market right before the crash. And I swear, as soon as we signed the mortgage, I feel like it crashed.
Yeah.
And so of course, we were at the top of our budget, and it was all we could do to meet that budget. And when we went to the bank for help, they just said, stop making your payments and walk away right now. And
yeah, I had a VA loan.
It was a VA loan.
We didn't want to do that because you pretty much forfeit any kind of medical rights that you are.
Future medical benefits.
Yeah.
And if you are going to buy a home in the future, then you have to pay back what you defaulted on that loan.
Yeah, it's just not a good idea. We paid the bill every month, and finally
13 years later,
we were able to sell the house and property. And even though we took a loss from the overall price of the house, we walked away with it paid with $500 in our pocket.
but we sold it for $30,000 less than we
Yeah.
bought it. We didn't have the money to do the roof and do the deck, and we made hard decisions. We were in California. There was a water crisis. We had to stop watering the lawn.
We sold almost everything not everything we owned, but we sold all of our toys and stuff just to pay the bills, and we had running out of stuff to sell.
Yeah, so we were like, we're ready to go travel. And we've always loved the outdoors. We've always been camping. So I said, let's just do it for a year. Either it's going to be the best decision we've ever made, or it's going to be the worst decision we've ever made.
And we just go back to working somewhere. Yeah.
We were young enough that we can just slip right back into the workforce, and nobody will even know we were gone.
Yeah.
And we're going to be starting year 6.
Yep. Now we're doing what we like. I mean, we get paid for going camping. I mean,
Funny story is, if we took the Jeep, so we lived 2 hours north of Sacramento. we've been looking for vans everywhere. And so we saw this van for sale in Sacramento. So Dave's like, let's go look at it. By the time we got there, it had already been sold. But they're like, we have this other van that just came in. We haven't even cleaned it or anything. And Dave's like, can I look at it? And they're like, sure. And
I actually saw it drive in, and I noticed that there was a big crease in one of the sides and a bunch of little dings on in the metal where it looked like something was on the inside, and this kind of made a dent.
yeah.
And right away I was like, oh, we might be able to afford this one. So I got all excited.
And so Dave's like, can we go look at it? They're like, it hasn't been cleaned or anything. And so that was this van, and that's how we ended up with this van.
Yeah.
And I will say that when we drove out of there, we had to drive by the Jeep.
That was tough.
And I got teary-eyed. I was like, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
Because we could stop right here.
We really had a great time with our Jeep Wrangler and off-roading. But that off-roading has come in handy with the van. And we haven't had to call a tow truck yet. So we've been able to get out and recover ourselves.
And Mom is uncanny. My mom called us. So my mom and I didn't have a super close relationship before van life. We would talk to each other like once a year. But for whatever reason, she called us that day when we were driving the van back to Redding. And she's like, what are you guys doing? And I was like,
Oh.
we're in Sacramento. We went to a car lot. She's like, why? And I was like, Dave sold his Jeep. She's like, he did what? And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, we bought a van.
We
She's
bought a
like,
used van.
she's like, why? And we told her, she's like, are you out of your effing mind?
Yeah.
She was not on board at first. She was like,
And it between selling the house and building out the van and getting everything all set, we had to fix a lot of stuff up on the house. Just the whole process. That all took about a year to get everything lined up before we hit the road. The van was done in May of 2018, and
we didn't sell the house until November.
November 1st or in the first part of November.
We
and
had
then
a lot of hiccups selling
yeah.
the house.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough sale, but we were. And then so December we hit the road.
Yep.
But we actually started living in the van in 2018 and July.
Actually, yeah, Dave moved into the van.
I moved into the van as soon as it had a bed. That was it. I wasn't sleeping in the house anymore.
Oh, yeah. And we were staying with Robert and Renee at their house. I remember we had that big fire in California, and they were evacuated. So we went to our old house that hadn't sold yet, and we were there while they were evacuated. Remember that?
Yeah, and then the house that we were selling got evacuated because of another fire.
So. We're like, oh my gosh.
California.
Yep. So that's the story.
We missed all the comments, so we'll go back and read all the comments. So I'm sorry if we're missing your comment.
Yeah. A lot of these people said they've been following us for many years. Thank you. And patrons, thank you. It really has made a difference for us. Robert, thank you. He shares all his video with friends. Thank you. Oh, Dennis. He's talked about when you helped that guy in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's fun. If we find somebody that's broken down on the side of the road, and we try to see if we can help them, because a lot of times we don't have to hurry and be somewhere. So.
Yeah, we look back now and think maybe we should have kept the Jeep and
towed it.
Towed it,
But
or
we just didn't
got
have-
a scamp. But
We just didn't have financing for that.
yeah, we're really happy with the setup we have. Of course, we're always dreaming about our next rig, but
we change our mind all the time, and
we
then we're
change
like,
our mind.
we're just happy. We just love the ProMaster, so.
And we can't tow anything with this van.
Yep,
This van is heavy. We're gonna do a video about this, and we'll show you how heavy it is.
Yeah, it's maxed out.
We can't tow anything with this van. Do we ever argue? Huh?
we probably argue actually more now than we ever have before, because we're always together. And before,
in a small space.
In a big house, if we had a problem, one would go to one end of the house and one would go to the other, and it wouldn't be an argument. But I think arguing is okay. It's just you
We
got to work it out.
well, like I said, we thought we were married 25 years before we went into van life.
So we thought we really knew
We
each other.
thought we had very good communication, and once you get into this size, you quickly learn that there's always room to improve your communication.
Yeah.
So
I think that would be pretty normal for most people.
I think most people,
Couldn't do it.
well, you see like a lifespan of most YouTubers are 4 to 5 years, and then they move on to the next thing. It's great. It's easy until it's hard, and some days are hard.
Yeah. Be a good test for a young couple. If a young couple can live in a van together, they're probably set.
Yeah.
But you got to live through the tough times and the good times, not just the good times.
And you have to have a good foundation.
Yeah.
And I honestly do not know how young people do YouTube, because there is no way I could have done YouTube when I was 25 years old. I am too emotional sometimes when I see the comments, when I have rude people.
I would have been doing all the stupid stuff like soaping myself up in the stream. We got older, we kind of learned the stuff that you don't do, and we still make mistakes, of course, but a lot of the stupid stuff, we've already done that.
Yeah, and so you have to learn to pretty much set those rude comments aside, but they still sometimes get to you, like, okay, I don't know if this guy's watching or not, but he called Dave a dumbass the other day, and I was like, did you watch the video? Because he said exactly the opposite of what you said. So I was like, before you make a rude comment, maybe watch the video. So Dave does the comments mostly because I get a little too in tune with it. And the other thing is, you guys probably, I don't know if you know, our patrons know, we've been turned in 3 times for flying the drone. We've been turned into the FAA, and then we have to contact them, and there's an investigation, and Dave has a logbook. So every time Dave flies, he has a logbook. The date, where he flew.
I'm just not randomly flying.
The
I have
coordinates.
a whole checklist I go through, and a bunch of different checks I make sure I can fly there. If there's any restrictions, and the weather, I log everything down, all the information down before I fly. So when we do get contacted, we have all the information.
We're still nervous because we can still make mistakes.
Yeah.
We can still be in the
But
wrong.
we
try not to.
We put a lot of effort in to make sure we're not breaking the rules.
But the thing is people can just anonymously report you, and then they have to look at it. And we have been cleared every time.
Yeah, and we're starting to build a history and they told us you will build a history because they will see that people are turning you in, but you're checked out every time. So they said just to keep building that history, and eventually, they won't even have to investigate on some of the ones.
Well, they'll look at it, but they'll know, they'll have a rapport with you that, because every time they talk to you, they make notes, and they're like, oh. So the first time we got turned in, we were so nervous, and so we called them, and we're talking to them, and Dave was like, let me open my logbook. Right away, she's like, you have a logbook? Yeah. And so yeah, it's just, we make so many videos, we can't remember, like, we got turned in for a video in Florida, and I thought for sure they turned us in because we were flying over a bridge, and we had all our proper paperwork. You applied for a special permission to fly there.
Yep. People don't know that, though, and that's one thing we can do better is just tell people, okay, we applied for a special permit to do this, and then show them, I guess.
And you have a commercial drone license.
Yep.
Tell them about the drone that you had to get for Canada.
Yeah, so Canada, has special regulations for flying your drone, and I had to get one that was under 250 grams to fly that there, and the one I had was a little bit over that, so it wouldn't work. So we did have to buy another one. We bought one from Amazon. You know how expensive they are, and they sent it to us, but the controller didn't work properly. It works, but not like it should. They didn't do some of the controls didn't do what they were supposed to do. So we contacted them, jumped through all the hoops and stuff like that. They sent us a new drone, you know, for no charge, but they told us to keep the old drone. Well, the old drone is fine. It was just the controller. So now we have an extra drone, and my new controller controls both, you know, controls both drones just fine. So now we have a backup, so that feels good.
So I contacted them because I was like, I never got an email to send this drone back. And so I was on the phone with them for an hour, and for whatever reason, they could not figure out how to send me an address to get that drone back to him. So he's like, just keep the drone. He's like, it's fine, just keep the drone. So when Dave got the new drone, then he tried the controller with both drones and it worked fine.
Yeah, so that's nice.
There was a hiccup on that order. Do you remember the hiccup on that order? So Carrie ordered the new drone for Dave, and we ordered a couple of other things, and we were having it shipped to our friend's house, Ed and Maria, in Boston, and we placed the order, and we let them know it was coming, and then we went off doing our thing, boondocking, Pennsylvania, I think, and we came back into cell service, and I reached out and I said, hey, did the Amazon order come in? And because I got a notification it had been delivered, and Ed goes, nothing's come in. I was like,
Uh-oh.
oh shit, oh shit. So I went back. I had transposed the address, so it was delivered to the wrong address on the street. It went to 57 instead of 75 or something like that.
And the guy accepted it. So, but
and I was like, I didn't want to tell Dave that his new drone I just had delivered to the wrong house. And so I told Ed, he's like, okay, I'll go down there. So actually Maria went down and sweet talked the guy, and everything that we had ordered was right there, and he gave it to her.
Ooh.
So we were really happy that we actually got that drone. What a fiasco getting stuff on the road sometimes.
Yeah. Any questions? Any Newfoundland questions or van life questions?
We can order things from Amazon if there's a locker next to us, but that typically has to be in a bigger type city, which we typically try to avoid. We have used those like in Sedona.
Yeah. Generally, the post office just has been bad, so we try not to use post office.
Well, the first year the post office was awesome, and then they decided that they needed to make money too. That's what the lady told us, and they no longer accept. When you order from Amazon, you can't tell them what carrier you want. And so if UPS comes to the post office, either they won't accept it or they make you pay the shipping.
And this information is like 2 years old, so I don't know if they've changed. I know they change stuff all the time. So,
how expensive is America's mailbox? So they have plans. They could go, I think it's like $100 a year all the way up to $350 a year. So just based on what you need. Hello from, I think I saw Australia pop up.
wow, cool.
Tasmania. Oh, yeah, Australia. We would love today, like to someday, go to Australia and do van life.
Yeah,
we would have to do that when Rudolph's not with us.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would be a wreck having him fly that far.
Obviously, we'd have to rent a van. Or buy one and then sell it when you leave, kind of thing.
Thank you, Rob and Jan. We have a Kildwick urine diverting toilet.
Ah.
We will be contacting you for more information on that.
Yep. Yeah, we're either going to build one or buy one. I kind of prefer to build one, but who knows?
Where are we spending the upcoming winter? We don't know yet. We will either be in Arizona or we'll be in Northern California at campsite number 1.
Yep.
We're unsure. And if you guys missed it, campsite number 1 is in Dave's brother's backyard. Where did we shower in Newfoundland? The first month we did not shower.
Yeah, because everything was closed.
I think it was a month and a half.
Yeah, everything was closed. All the campgrounds were closed, so you couldn't get a shower there. There's only 2 truck stops on the island, and we weren't even close.
Oh, no, I take that back. We did go to the truck stop.
Okay, yeah, but that was after a couple weeks. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is 2 truck stops where you can shower, and technically if you fill up, you get a free shower. So
Yeah. We would definitely say in a future video when we talk about Newfoundland tips. Granted, we went early because we wanted to see icebergs, and boy, did we. They had a stellar year for icebergs. They had icebergs just like yesterday. They were still reporting some icebergs.
which is super unusual for August.
But nothing is open until about May 19th to June 1st. So there are no resources. There's no laundromat, there's no water, there was no trash.
Yeah, we didn't do laundry for a long time because the laundromats aren't like the laundromats in the States.
They're like home machines.
They're very few and far between. If you find one, they usually only have a couple of machines. So when we first got there, we couldn't find any.
Yeah, and then once the campground started opening, then it wasn't a problem. We could go to a campground for a night. There were 2 big truck stops on the island that we took showers.
And they had laundry machines at the truck stops too, so we did laundry there.
Hi, Karen. So we are actually back in the States. We are in Illinois. If you're new, just coming on, we will maybe be doing a seasonal job in September. We just applied yesterday. We will be doing the beet harvest job in October in Minnesota. Then we go to Dallas, Texas to photograph a wedding in October, at the end of October. Then we start heading west.
Yep.
And from there, we don't know.
Yeah, we like to keep some of it open. I don't like to plant too much stuff.
If we don't do the potato harvest job, we are looking for maybe a Christmas tree farm or something. We just need we like to have a little bit of a safety net income. We still have more car repairs to do. The van Stormtrooper is now been on the road for 6 years.
Yep, it's at the maintenance stage. We're not going to get freebies anymore.
So Minnesota is typically not cold until, well, it's starting to get cool in October.
Oh, is that what? Okay,
yeah. How long does it take for you to edit a video? It depends. It depends on if we did a good job filming. It depends on if Carrie is burnt out, tired of editing. It depends on how much travel we're doing. But I would say on average, it probably takes me, if I just sat down and did nothing else but edited, it probably would take me at least a solid 5 hours.
Yeah, but that usually doesn't happen.
I can't just sit down and edit. I need to get up and take a mental break.
I would say it's closer to 10 hours.
I don't think if you added it all together, it's that long. But the way I do it, it usually takes me about a week to edit the video. But that's because I'm only working a couple hours a day.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis. And not to mention, on top of the videos, we're answering emails, and we're answering Facebook messages, and we're answering Instagram messages and Patreon messages.
Trying to figure out
just
where
doing
we're,
administration stuff and doing lots of research on where we're going next.
That's probably what I spend most of my time doing, is the research on where we're going. So it takes a lot of time for that.
Yeah. And then if we're in a really fun area, then I just want to be out exploring and playing and not editing. Like Moosehead Lake, I just wanted to be out playing.
Moosehead Lake was awesome. Never been disappointed there.
Robin Jan says editing takes so long. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it to. Okay, so the video I'm working on now is actually Moosehead Lake, and I have 6 hours of footage. We filmed a lot at Moosehead Lake. So I gotta condense 6 hours of footage into 25 minutes, and that might be overwhelming, but sometimes it's easier when you have more footage to choose from.
Well, then that also shows you that we spend a lot of time doing camera work too, that, you know, filming, and between that and the editing, it's taken a large portion of our week.
So now that we no longer have a portable shower in the van, where do we shower mostly?
We've been hitting truck stops because we've been moving pretty fast lately. So, but
State parks.
State parks are great too. So you just pay day use in a state park. You know, sometimes they have an extra charge for showers, sometimes they don't. And we'll go into the state park and we'll take a shower, we'll get our water, get rid of our trash, and then if they have a hiking trail, maybe we'll hike a trail, but then we'll leave. It's just cheaper that way.
And the truck stop showers are nice, and we share a shower, so it's
they're expensive, but they're nice, and you know they give you fresh, clean towels, so we're not getting our own towels dirty, and they're a luxury. I mean, you really appreciate it when you get one.
Yeah. Turtle bookworm. I have not seen the new pin. I'll have to look at that. How do you find good, safe boondocking spots on the East Coast? That's a hard one.
So it kind of changes from state to state. And so we tend to look at what the state offers. Like, for example, Maine, they have state reserve land, and it's like public land, just with a different name. So once you find out what they have in that, and what Florida had certain land too that I think it was the water district lands.
Yeah, the water district.
They set up like public lands and had free camping. So some of the states have different places, but we do check our apps like iOverlander or Free Roam,
and some of the states don't have a lot of national forests, so it gets tricky. But if the state does have national forests like New Hampshire or Vermont, if you go into a Forest Service office and ask them about dispersed camping, they're usually very helpful about that.
But it is tough on the East Coast, and some of the states are moving to paid reservations for what used to be free. So you could get a completely remote spot that has absolutely no amenities at all, and you could have to pay the reservation fee plus something else, and so it's kind of like the free stuff is getting harder to come by.
Well, and what we do is we learn to Google free camping in whatever state we're in, dispersed camping in whatever state we're in.
Yeah, and the kind of sites that we like the most are like the private sites where people just went in and talked about where they camped and letting you know where it's at, and then we read the comments in it and see what if it looks good for us, and we check it out. But I also like Google Maps, and I'll go into Google Map and I'll check out where they said to camp and see if it's something like we would like, because maybe we need sun, or it's going to be hot and we want a river or a lake. It's just a lot of research.
Hi Wander MT, glad to see you on. Yeah, so there's a lot of research on the East Coast. I've probably done 3 hours of research just for Wisconsin alone. There's not a whole lot in Wisconsin, but there's some inexpensive campgrounds. And so we're seeing a lot of the free stuff is slowly shifting to designated sites or pay. But anyway, you just have to do a lot of research and Google and use different keywords in your Google search.
Yeah.
And we stayed at a free campground in New York, was the environmental conservation area. So we will start looking up those areas too. You just have to know the right keywords to.
Sometimes people give us tips too. They're like, well, you could try staying here, and we appreciate that as well, because we've been through certain areas, thought there's no free camping, and then someone says, oh, you can camp here, and it turns out it's amazing free camping. So word of mouth helps too.
We do have Harvest Host, and we're grandfathered into a great price on that, so we will pay you that every year, and that is super helpful on the East Coast as a backup plan.
And we did use Harvest Host coming once from Maine to Illinois, so it did come in handy.
Yeah, and we used it in Nova Scotia too, I think, or New Brunswick, one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a lot of planning. How does it take a long time to plan your next boondocking location?
Sometimes, depending on where we're at. If we're in the West, you can usually find and plan a spot within an hour. But when we're east, I mean, I could spend 6 hours looking for a location.
Yeah. But basically what we do is we plan where we want to go.
Yeah.
Like, we know we're going to the North Dakota, Minnesota border. So then we plan a route there, and then we look what's in the area on the way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we go where we want to go. We just find the camping around it. Every once in a while, we'll find a place that looks like the best camping ever, and we'll just make that our destination if we don't have any plans. But
Would your next rig have 4-wheel drive? Yeah. Well, we talk about this a lot, and we can't. If we had the money, this rig would be 4-wheel drive. But would 4-wheel drive get us in trouble?
I would still take it. I would trouble's okay. But
And
it's just so much more expensive.
we have been to some amazing places in Stormtrooper without 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, we have.
So, I mean, in the wintertime, we are very limited because we don't have 4-wheel drive. That would be nice to have that in the snow.
Yeah.
But then again, we'd be in snow more often. But our dream rig is, we saw this tour truck in Sedona, and it was 4-wheel drive. But, you know, that's kind of our dream rig. I don't know. Maybe we'll put
We
it.
could probably never afford it, but we can show you a picture.
What about all-wheel drive?
All-wheel drive would be good too, yeah.
Yeah. So, I think if we had a 4-wheel drive, we would not use it to get to where we're going, because you want to use the 4-wheel drive to get out if you get stuck.
Yeah, it would give us, we'd be able to stay places a little bit longer. If we saw a rainstorm coming, we might be able to stay longer, or a snowstorm coming. We'd still have to, you know, be careful and be smart, but it'd give us more flexibility.
Yeah.
I would probably try to go a lot further or in remote areas.
Which might get us in trouble.
No, I mean,
In the winter it would.
well, in the winter, but not, you know, just in general, I would try to go more remote if we had 4-wheel or all-wheel drive.
Yes, free camping above 8,000 feet. Absolutely.
Yes. Above 10,000 feet, if we can find it.
We could never afford the Winnebago Echo. Yes, they are nice. They are
We have
roomier.
seen those. Those are awesome
Yeah.
looking.
Have you ever thought about South America? I don't know if we could do South America. I think we would be too stressed because
Just
of
all the border crossings and the dog, and we've watched other people do it, and I don't know if it would be worth the stress for us. I think we could do it, but
Yeah, we don't need a 4-wheel drive. We just need Ed and Maria to come with us to pull us out.
yeah, another vehicle, another capable vehicle.
Yeah, so South America with Rudel, I think, would just stress us out. And the language barrier would stress you out.
Yeah, I would have to do a lot of studying just to get some basic words down.
Because you got a little stressed when we went into Quebec and they were speaking French.
Yeah.
You're like, can you drive? So I don't know. We would love
We
to.
could slowly work into it, maybe. I'm not going to take it off the table, but
No.
right now it's probably not.
I'm trying to get him to go to Baja to get his feet wet. And we would love to rent a van in Iceland and spend like 4 or 5 months in Iceland.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would love to do van life in Australia.
Yeah, both those two places.
Maybe New Zealand, because
Either one.
there's no snakes in New Zealand, right?
I don't think so.
I would go to New
I think
Zealand.
they're all in Australia.
Do you ever get claustrophobic and want to spend a week at a resort or house? No. But, and this is hard sometimes because we'll go to people's houses and they have beautiful houses and spare bedrooms. And they're like, you can stay in here. And we're like, no, we're good here.
It's just nice to have your own privacy. I think it's nicer for the people you stay with, too, because they get to maintain their own privacy.
And I don't want to sleep in a hotel bed.
Yeah,
I would much rather sleep in my bed.
We've never done that. We've never
But-
stayed at a motel.
I have thought about renting a hotel just for the bathtub.
Yeah.
I've come close a couple of
I
times.
know, they ought to offer like some place where you can go where you can, well, that's what natural hot springs are for.
I know, but there's not very many in the East. I love my bath, so I would pay the money to do just for the bathtub.
She would.
They're from Canada and they get stressed going into Quebec. The first time we went into Quebec, we didn't know how to get money, and so we went to the bank, and they can speak English, but they don't speak English.
They preferred not to.
They prefer not to, and okay, that's fine. But we speak no French at all, so that was, they give you Canadian money.
It's like hitting the easy button.
Yeah. Let's see. Hi from Ohio. Hi, Dan. We just came from Ohio. Ohio. How much do you spend on gas? What's your MPG?
So we're getting about 15 miles per gallon. The van started before we built it out when it was light. It was getting about 19. So I'm still pretty happy with 15. Our gas varies. So it depends on how much money that we have. Like sometimes that we don't have much money left and we'll stay at the same place for a week or 10 days.
Or if you stay at 14 days, you only have to move once or twice a month.
Yeah, and so it all depends. So sometimes we go through one tank of gas or 2 tanks of gas, and other times we going through Labrador in Canada, we went through a tank of gas almost every day. So,
do you think we spent like almost just in Newfoundland like $2,000 in gas?
I haven't even figured it out, but I think
because
we
drove every little arm and we did a lot of driving.
So yeah, it changes, but we had money saved from the sugar beet harvest, and we knew it was going to be expensive.
Are you making plans to see the big solar eclipse? Yeah, yes, kinda. I mean, I already have an invitation in Texas in April to see the solar eclipse, and if we're not going to Alaska, because we might be headed to Alaska about that time, but if we're not, Dave doesn't know this yet, but the van might be pointed to Texas.
No.
Yes.
I've seen one before. I remember. I was 5 years old or something.
A wood-fired hot tub, huh? I've
Wow.
always talked about that. Okay, so this ties into another question. They want to know, do we ever see ourselves in a house again?
If we do ever, I don't see it happening, but if it'd be a small, tiny home, off-grid setup, and I just don't know if it's ever going to happen, but it could.
I would like to get just a small piece of land, like an acre, 5 acres at most, do an off-grid. Dave's always dreamed about doing an off-grid cabin.
Yeah.
Whatever we build is going to be tiny, but it's going to be bigger than the van.
Yeah.
And because we probably can't do this forever.
Yeah. But we'll worry about that when we get to it. We like to dream about stuff, but
right now we have no money to buy any land.
So that makes it easy.
That makes it easy. Yes. But on this off-grid property, of course, it has to have a stream running through it.
Oh yeah, we're getting real picky now.
So then we're going to build a water wheel to get electricity. And then, of course, we're going to have a off-grid wood-fired hot tub.
Yes.
And lots of wild edibles. I don't know if the perfect... on a lake.
Mushrooms.
I don't know if it exists, Dave. A garage with a loft.
Garage with the loft, that's cool.
How long can you drive before the pain sets in, neck, shoulders? That depends on if we're in a city or not.
If we're driving through a city, I get instant neck pain right here. I think it's probably tension just from the traffic. So, but I noticed lately, we drive a couple hours. We got to get out and stretch. So we're just getting old, I guess. But,
well, we haven't drove long distances. Like,
yeah,
we drove a lot in Newfoundland, but we drove to another spot.
Except in Labrador, we drove a lot, but
yeah. Sounds like you want to live near Basin, Montana. So far, our dream states are Maine, which you're coming up in the Maine video. I went out paddleboarding to this island, and I did not know there was a house on this island. And when I got around the island, I was like, oh, there's my future home. So Maine, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, Arizona, Utah,
possibly Colorado. But those are dream situations.
Dream,
areas,
yeah. Do you think the wind makes our MPG go down?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we hit a headwind one time when we were getting 11 miles per gallon. So
yeah. So we're at 84 minutes. This has been a long one. Just to sum it all up, we are back in the United States. We've been here for about 3 weeks. We kind of skipped Nova Scotia and New Brunswick and came straight home. when I got back to go grocery shopping, I was like, wow.
Yeah, just the gas and the food is so expensive up there. We were kind of pushed to get back, and also the camping in Nova Scotia isn't like it used to be. So they're starting to close a lot of those locations that were okay to park overnight. Now they have signs that say no overnight parking, and it's easy to find that because you start reading through comments on iOverlander, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, there's no place left. I'm sure there is, but it's a lot harder than it was.
Lori, I thought of you when we came through Ohio, but we breezed right through it. So
Yeah.
she's like, you're in Ohio again and I missed you. I'm sorry. Cindy, it was good to see you on here. We will be coming into your neck of the woods. We want to show you some of our favorite areas in Modoc County, which is far northern California. So hopefully we'll be doing that next year.
Yep.
Alaska next year, hopefully. If not Alaska, then we're going to go to Texas for the eclipse. Alaska, we're really hoping Alaska's going to work out. We are not going to tell my mom that we're going to Alaska because she said that's the one place she said we could not go.
She's afraid that we're just going to set our roots down and live
and
up
not
there.
come back. Yeah. So we are in Illinois. We are heading to Michigan to work seasonal jobs. That puts a little extra money in our pockets for travel. Yes, I'm worried about the bugs in Alaska and how long can I stay in the bugs.
Mm-hmm.
They said the eclipse is worth it, Dave.
We do have a bug screen tent, so that could be helpful.
Maria says to talk Ed into it. Into Alaska? We wanted to do the White Rim Trail in Utah, and I was just gonna make you rent a Jeep and go, and you still might have to do that. But dogs are not allowed even in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Ed and Maria, we were trying to get you to go with us. No dogs in the vehicle even.
So that's gonna be postponed, but it's gonna happen someday.
Johnny Lightning says he might be getting a piece of property at auction that has all of our requirements.
Wow.
Let us know how that goes.
I'm jealous.
I don't know if we're going to make it into Michigan or not. It depends on if we applied to do the potato harvest, and that would start next week. So I don't know if we're going to get that or not.
Yeah, we should find out maybe today or Monday, I guess. Probably Monday.
What happened to our rain awning, Dave?
Oh, the rain awning was great. It's just that we found ourselves not using it.
We didn't use it at all.
And I could have made a little flap that would protect it from the sun, but I didn't. And so finally the sun ate through the tarp, which is no big deal. You just buy a new tarp, but we weren't using it. It did work good. The design is really good. But
I did like it when it was raining and you could keep the door open.
I think if we stayed put longer in the same place and didn't move around so much, then we'd be using that.
Yeah.
And who knows, sometime we may build another one just like the first one and start using it again.
Yep.
But it's one of those things you do have to take it down at night because, we want to be able to move in the middle of the night if we don't like where we're at or we hear some noise or whatever. And so, if it gets too windy, you want to take it down. It's just...
Yeah, we would never leave it up overnight because of the places we go. Like, we have patrons who like to go the same places that we go. Michael and Rose, they were in Montana, I think.
Yeah.
Washington, maybe.
Washington, I think. Just recently. And
bears trying to get into their side window. So
they left in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
We would have done the same probably. Maybe. Brutal probably would have scared them off.
Yeah. How many miles do we have on the van now?
We have 121,000.
Yep. Yeah, retractable awnings are better, but they cost money. Yeah. Roodle-doo-doo-doo! You want to say hi?
Oh,
he thinks somebody's here.
Oh, Rudolph.
Rudolph, say hi.
Oh. Just put your camera back where it was and we'll get Rudolph up here.
Okay.
Come on, Rudolph.
Come on.
Get up here. Get
Come
up
on.
here. Up.
Up.
Get up there.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Robin Jan. Thanks for stopping by.
Yep, thank you. Oh, yes. Oh, it's my Rudolph. Yeah, I know.
So I know a lot of people have asked about my photography. If I'm going to be putting, hi, buddy. Hi. If I'm going to be putting more pictures on Etsy, I will try to get around to that. There's just not a lot of demand for prints. I will be doing calendars again this year. So we will be look for those. What do you think? Are you hot?
Before you sign off, if you hit the thumbs up, we'd really appreciate it. It will help this because there's no video coming out this week.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, we're going to be signing off from Illinois. Baxter said hi. Say hi to Baxter.
Oh, Baxter. You're Miss Baxter. And
there's only one Rudel. Thanks, you guys, for stopping by. We appreciate you coming along with us. Thank you for making this journey possible.
let us know if you want more of these lives because we can keep you updated, and we could do one every month if there's any demand for it.
Bye, Ashley. It was good to see you on here. Ooh, it's hot, huh, buddy? We got to turn the fan on. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good
Oh,
boy.
oh, oh, yeah.
Good boy. Yeah, you're a good boy. I think I'm going to turn the fan on and open the door, and we're going to hit the road.
Yep, we're going to hit the road. We got to go to more live chats. Okay, we got to get out of Southern Illinois. It's getting hot. All right, guys. Thanks
Bye-bye.
for watching. We will see you next time. Say bye. Roof, roof. Roof, roof. Yeah, okay.
He's like, it's time to go. I got to go outside.